January 1st, 2025, out for a walk. I want to lay out my visions for the future, not for myself, but for the world. I'm sure most of this is unattainable, impossible, but nevertheless, it's what I want. That's what I think we all should want. I mean, there's so many ways to begin. I really believe in the idea of universal basic income. Everybody, everywhere in the world even, I guess it could depend on exactly where you are, but should get $30 a day. Now, how do you bring on such a system? How do you bring such a system online? Well, you do it slowly over time, authorized by law, because everyone agrees to kind of do it. But you could imagine if you just started it with America, everyone would have an online account. I mean, everyone already kind of does. Everyone kind of has phones and all that. And you give everyone one penny. You wait 3 months and see what happens. Then as time goes by, you start to increase it. See how it affects inflation. See how it affects everything. But then you get to a point where, so like $30 a day is $900 a month approximately. And that's pretty much what some people get if they're on disability. Social Security, stuff like that. It's not enough to live on, but if you pool your resources with other people, get roommates or whatever, you could live on that. And there's a reason why we should do it, because it's what's just and it's what's right. It's what we should do, because if you think about the sunlight hit the planet Earth and all the apple trees grew, the apples fell off those apple trees, and it belongs to all of us in some way. And the only way that you can, equitably and fairly redistribute the value that exists in society to everyone is to give everyone a little bit every day, just because they exist. Then, by talking about it with legislation, you can also, change the values for certain people. Maybe some people blind at birth, could get more, because it's more difficult for them to work. I would love to have a system of universal basic income, because it's through a system like that maybe even reparations can happen to the extent that it's necessary for obvious groups from history that were marginalized, or it's a way to get there. Then, I really think we need to rewrite the Constitution. And whether you make universal basic income a part of the Constitution or not, I don't know, because that could just come through law, legislation. But the Constitution has, a lot of problems at this point. Our chief executive isn't selected by a majority vote, which was obviously what we should be doing. There's only 2 senators representing 40 million people in California, where there's 2 senators representing less than 1 million people in a number of states. And so that's like inherently not good, unfair representation that way. I get why we did it, because it's how we set up the system, but it's long since we should have, fixed that system. The semi-quincentennial is coming up in 2026, the 250-year anniversary of the founding of America. And I think that would be an ideal time for people to get together and discuss what we should have in a new constitution. It's obvious that we need to do this. There are so many objections that can be raised. The objections that sound so plausible and sensible and this and that and everything else. But I mean, you should get good Philadelphia liberal like me, lots of good principled conservatives, etc., in the room, hash out what should be in a new constitution. This goes without saying. I want an end to all war. I don't know how you achieve that. God, I wish there was some way we could put an end to war. I mean, one way to put an end to war is America be so strong that we just enforce a policy of no war anywhere. But that comes with inherited obvious problems. You get, next thing you know, you have tyranny that you have to deal with, and rebellions and all that. I mean, it's more a necessary consequence of the human condition. Yeah, it probably is. But, we're always in this, search between caring about ourselves and, by extension, those close to us, near us, family, people part of our immediate groups and whatever. And the axiom of we need to care about everybody. Everybody matters just as much as everyone else. That's the truth. Everyone matters just as much as everyone else. That's the absolute truth of our reality. But so many people just will be like, no, that's not the way it is, and this group is more important than that group, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's just not, you're just not looking at reality clearly. But I insist. I know. The way I think about it is, everyone matters just as much as everyone else. There's no exceptions to that. It's just basic truth. And now, the more you can implement in your life, and your political philosophies, and your religious behavior, the more you can act on that truth, the more better I think it could ultimately be for everyone. Maybe humanity can survive the coming crises that we're in, and the coming problems that we're going to have. Maybe we can survive it the more people get on board with the idea of everyone matters just as much as everyone else. And I mean, that's why, I hope there's a weakening of the nation state over the next coming generation or two. Basic principles of anyone should be allowed to go anywhere and do any job that needs to be done. And nobody has the right to tell them no. If there was a math teacher position somewhere in North Korea where they couldn't fill it, and the only criteria is that you can teach math to the kids in that community, then anyone should be allowed to go take that job. And the government of North Korea shouldn't be allowed to say no, which is just fantasy. I mean, what I'm saying is complete fantasy, but it's absolutely truth. It's like, that's the goal that we want to achieve. We want to achieve genuine human freedom and liberty for all. I mean, just think about, when people could start to choose their own work. I was talking about this, like, what was Walmart and Amazon and some of these big, Target and some of these big corporations. I'm not knocking them. I mean, they're like big trees, right? They so outcompete all the little mom and pop stores that the little mom and pop stores can't get any sunlight. And the next thing you know, they wither and die. But, when do we get to the point where we really unlock the next phase of human freedom? With universal basic income, somebody could come along, see litter on the street here, take a picture of it, upload it, say, I want $10 for cleaning it up. They clean it up and the $10 hits them. And the reason why they got to $10 is because they've already been well vetted litter cleanupper people that, that never overcharge and just tell the system what they can do. But everything they do can be audited. In hindsight, maybe somebody, I want $25 for that, and quasi AI human beings looking at it with governmental authority, whatever. No, we're not giving you $25 to clean that up. We're not going to give you nothing. You haven't earned the right to ask for it yet, or something like that. But not just some guy who goes out on the street corner to play the guitar, Friday night, and he plays the guitar for hours. People walk by and swipe like, or somehow there's an indication that as people are walking by, there's a camera and people smile when they look at him. And next thing you know, that guy wakes up in the morning, there's $50 in his bank account because he played the guitar all night long. You know what I mean? I mean, with our information technology and good macroeconomic policy, we could really unlock the next phase of human freedom. And it doesn't mean that we're going to get rid of rich people, because rich people who've worked hard and were innovative and very thoughtful and put together really good systems deserve the value that they made in this society. but they can't overdo it. They can't, oh my God, we made a lot of value because we bought out competitors, or no. You see, those are the kinds of things where you can't let that happen. And like, I mean, now brings to mind like the next phase of robotic technology in my mind is obviously going to be when robots help us to clean our houses. And I think how that whole process is going to start, is going to be a relationship. It's going to be like the exponential growth model. Some robotic cleaning service is going to say, hey, we'll clean your house to the extent that we're able to with our Boston Dynamics robotic dog, and we're going to charge you $100 a month for it. And we're going to clean it, 4 times a week, or 4 times a month, once a week. And it would be a relationship built, because it wouldn't be entirely AI. It would be human beings operating the robot. You can imagine the robot, you would schedule the robot to come. That would never clean your house when you're home. Not at first, and it would be a relationship building thing. Like the robotic company would tell people, don't put your laundry baskets here, put them there, and always schedule the dog to come, at 10:30 when everyone's already at work, so the dog can put away the trash cans because that's the day the trash collection comes, and you hit, because it's been shown how to do it. You hit one button and it knows how to go right inside the house, right up into the bathroom, knows how to clean the shower, knows how to clean the toilet. It could be, it's able to have such good, detection. They can look at the countertops and see what kind of bacteria is there and use the right cleaner to clean it. I mean, and just once you get doing it, the operating costs would be so prohibitive for the people operating the cleaning company that there's no way they could get by just charging people $100 a month, except exponential growth model, where investors who have lots of money protect them from the need to make profit at the beginning. So time goes by, so that there could be an explosion of this, of suddenly the robots can clean houses and really make value doing it, make money doing it. And that vision is one reason why, I've always, that vision of that exponential growth model is one reason why I've never been able to go along with a lot of deeper left-wing politics, because I know that our society needs, my earbud fell out. I know our society needs the super rich, because it's one of the ways that we adjust for all of the problems that we have. Sometimes legislators can't get it done with all their bickering. So, somebody, a rich person with the right kind of heart comes along and fixes that problem. I'm hoping to God, like Warren Buffett and Bill Gates and, dare I say Elon Musk, are people who think that way. They're trying to do good for humanity with the power that they have. I mean, in a new constitution, I would write, the ability to tax people based upon what they have. You follow me? That once a person reaches a certain threshold, they could be summoned before a grand jury, and they're forced to tell the grand jury everything that they have. And if they have too much and they're not using it the right way, take a lot of it from them. But if they have a lot and they're using it the right way, and they're guiding good investments and they're guiding good things to happen, give them more. I mean, I don't know. It's like it doesn't have to be taxed based on income. Our taxation system based on income is so flawed, because there's all these loopholes and all these tricks and all this stupid ways to get around stuff that we should just simply eliminate. And so I think a grand jury looking at some rich guy, some rich family, some rich whatever, what are you doing with your wealth, and asking a question, the Revolutionary Council, but I mean, I don't think it has to be awful like the Reign of Terror, from the French Revolution. It doesn't have to be anything like that, but like some, third generation rich kid, is not doing anything useful with all these billions of dollars that they have, take a lot of it from them, and use that resource to somewhere else. I mean, look at the imbalances in our society. Look at the Milton Hershey School. I'm not, in Pennsylvania, I'm not trying to be a hater, but just look at it. How much money do they have in their trust fund? $21 billion of wealth? Well, Milton Hershey set up a great system. The Hershey bars and all that stuff and all the value he made during World War II and all that. I mean, it's great, but $21 billion of value? Oh, God. The school district of Philadelphia educates, 140,000 kids a year. And it's 140,000 kids a year. And the Milton Hershey School, I don't know, nowhere near that number. It's 1,000 or something like that. And they're sitting on, they could pay the Philadelphia budget for the next 10 years. It's at some point you just set up a system of taxation that's based upon what people have. You know what I mean? And so make sure that everyone has at least so that you can redistribute wealth. And this isn't a communist idea, because this is in a system where we have all this information technology that wasn't available to assholes like Karl Marx or whatever. It's the modern era, and what you could do is make sure that the abundance of the wealth of this society is at least at some level distributed down to the people who need it the most. I mean, look at the bell curve. There are people in our society that have IQs of 70, 80. They're not smart, and it's and you want to sit there and go, work harder, go out there and pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. And it's how difficult it is for some people to do that. And it's that's why universal basic income and could be a great way to try to solve that problem. Visions for the future. I know what I want, but I guess it's just going to be, more conspiracy theories trying to be forced down my throat. Lies coming from Donald Trump or lies coming from the mainstream media. I don't even know what the mainstream media is. And what are lies anyway? It's something I just off the beaten path. What are lies anyway? I mean, my definition of truth has always been, something that's both logically true and relevant. You can't talk about things that are not relevant. That's why, I gotta ultimately crack the puzzles of God, crack the puzzles of theology. What's the limits of what philosophy can teach us about the nature of reality, and etc. And then ultimately you have to apply these things in, not only in your political understanding of the world, but all the way down to your personal life. Can you lose that 10 pounds you need to lose? I mean, it's everything is an integrated piece. And my favorite stories, thinking about The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan, or the Aes Sedai, the female sorcerers, and the Aes Sedai, the servants of all. I like the idea of being a servant of all. I want to serve everyone. How can I do that? The number one way to serve God, if he exists, and I think he probably does, is to try to serve everyone and to care about everyone. And that doesn't mean that sometimes you don't have to imprison and kill or do hard work or wage war. Caring about everyone sometimes means you have to wage war, but it's complicated, But still, in the end, that should be the goal. And the Aes Sedai, these female sorcerers, they swore these oaths on oath rods, and the oaths that they swore were, I swear to never tell a word or speak a word that's untrue, or something like that. And they can't ever lie. And the magic in that system is such that they're actually physically incapable of lying. I wish, in a way, I had that. I mean, to always speak truth, to always be relevant to what matters, simultaneously to never speak something that's false. And so, I don't know where we how I implement, how do I prioritize what to work on is my biggest problem. Maybe I should just take responsibility for my kids and take responsibility for my work job and just do the best I can and hope the rest of it works itself out. I mean, it's like, go Philadelphia Eagles, paydays on Friday, live. It's like, that's all you need to know about life, And I bet you people who think that way, do your job, go Philadelphia Eagles, what I mean? Of course, if you live in Phoenix, you're like, oh, Cardinals or whatever they are. You root for the home team, payday's Friday, do your job. Hopefully everything works out. Be loyal to your team. People who think that way, they do just fine. It's probably all you need to know. But it's not me. I have to think past that, through that, over that. Maybe Jesus was resurrected, okay? So if he was resurrected, then I'm telling you he wasn't, because I know it's not true. But it's like, I die and I go before Judgment Day. And Jesus is like on the other side. They said, Paul, I was actually resurrected. You told people that I wasn't. So you got to go to hell now. It's like, well, how absurd is that? Like, but dude, there was so much evidence that it was false. What did you want me to do? I had to go with the evidence. I would just think Jesus and I'd be like, yeah, you're right. You have to go with the evidence, Oh, I have no idea what I'm going to do with my life. 54 years old. The key is prioritization. Try to figure out a way to prioritize where I put my effort. And there's my wish for myself and my wish for all of you. Let's find the correct prioritization of the obvious truths that we know in our heart. I love you all. Be good.